My name is NonStopAntonio, and today we will be breaking down and reviewing The Flash, Episode 7 of Season 9, titled Wildest Dreams. Nia Now Dreamer is back, and it's time to see what crazy antics they get up to. So let's jump into my episode breakdown for The Flash. Welcome to NonStopAntonio, where I talk about everything nerdy. I love Marvel, DC, and anime, and if you do too, I hope you enjoy this video. I feel like this episode could have been a lot better. They really dropped the ball on this one because they had Nia Now coming back. I was really hoping for a good episode with Dreamer and the possibility of Kara returning. You know, I might have had my hopes a little too high for that part, but still, it would have been cool to see her return. And I really do hope that this episode was a setup for Nia coming back in the future, because nothing really got done. It was just to really progress Nia's character development, which wouldn't make much sense to progress her if we weren't getting her back. And then Iris's character development. And also just sending Mark off completely and getting rid of him. Because it was another episode with Mark in the background trying to deal with Frost's death and being with Khione, where they just kind of sent him off. Where I think they could have probably done this either last season or earlier this season. However, even though this wasn't the most eventful episode, it was a nice send-off for another Arrowverse character. And again, I do wish we got Kara in it, but I do really like the character Nia Now, and I am glad that we got her back for at least one episode. I was hoping for an actual Flash team-up with her, though, and again, I am hoping that does happen in the future because I feel like they wasted the potential. So let's jump into the breakdown of the episode now, because it's looking like the future Barry had planned out is coming true, because Iris gets a headline for her next article where she wins her award, and it's titled Nightmare Under the Red Skies, which really sets up her story for the episode. And right off the bat of the episode, by the way, Nia Now is in this dreamy space where she sees Iris die by this mysterious figure, and it's making her believe that Iris is in danger and that there's just some bad shit gonna go down. However, that's just not the case at all, and it was all a mislead, because Nia goes off to Central City to find Iris. And one thing I liked about this is when she does go to do it, we get a nice Kara reference, and it's a reference back to episode 5, where Batwoman told Iris that they should have brunch with Kara and Nia, and they had brunch with Alex as well. These little things are what I like, you know, little things that you reference from earlier episodes and you bring it back. Now, I wish we could have seen some of those characters. However, it was just cool to get the reference. And we also got a reference to Cicada as well, and how Iris almost died and then went straight into writing an article, and Nia really looks up to her for that. Because Nia Now is a younger reporter compared to Kara and Iris, she has a lot to learn, and she's looking up to her mentors. But it turns out the whole reason Nia's there is because she lost her powers after that first incident at the beginning of the episode while she was looking into ancient Nautorian dream energy, which Nautorian is her alien race. If you haven't seen Supergirl and you didn't know, Dreamer is an alien who looks like a human. Just so you know there. But this sets up the whole plot of the episode where Nia and Iris get stuck in a dream space, and they go from area to area. They start off being cops, and it's one of the dreams that Iris has had because her dad was a cop and she feels like she would fit in that role. And then she ends up going to Jitters right after because she originally worked at Jitters. She was really good at it, and she really enjoyed that job, which just kept setting up the plot of her episode and where her journey was going to go, because Iris had to realize that her destiny is her being a reporter, and that she's on the right path and where she's gonna go, but she's got to stop thinking about what could have been, and live in the moment, because she's on the right journey. She's where she's supposed to be. Until Iris and Nia get dragged into Nia's nightmare, where they kept playing it there where Nightmare having flashes of spiders, because spiders is how Nia's mom died. And in the end, it's all about their nightmares. How Nia's scared of losing control, and Iris is scared of moving forward with her life and accepting her destiny, getting her reward, and really becoming that all-star reporter. Iris thinks that people are going to think she's fake because she gets all her stories from The Flash. It's really her just self-doubting, but I don't really understand why they needed Iris for this story, because obviously Nia makes sense, but Nia being sent to Iris was obviously just plot convenience, because the mysterious figure was the first ever dreamer trying to get Nia to let go and not have to control everything so she could accept the power she needed. But again, it doesn't make sense that Iris was needed there. Like, obviously, if this was any other show, they could have used any other character. If this was in Supergirl, they would have used Kara. But because they don't have Supergirl anymore, they used Iris. It just felt like they wrote this being like, we want Dreamer to come back, but let's give her random story to put her in here, even though it doesn't really make much sense. However, it was cool to see Nia get an upgrade, and it better not be for nothing. She better have gotten an upgrade so she could come back later. Otherwise, I do not see a point of doing that to the character. And during all this crazy antics while they're running through the dreams, I liked how we have Barry worrying about his child in Iris, but also worrying about his wife, of course. And Cecile, oddly enough, senses the original dreamer watching them, but she senses it as a guardian angel. a presence, but Nia thought it was something bad. So you can really see the differences. And I guess because Cecile can sense this kind of stuff and understand what's good and what's bad, of course she's gonna have a better understanding than Nia, who just sees this dark and mysterious figure chasing her. We also got the second reference to Kara in this episode, because even Team Flash was talking about reaching out to Brainy, John, and Kara, and they're like, oh, they're off-world. At least we got a reference to them, but they're always off-world. It's just that plot device. They're like, oh, we can't reach them because they're off-world. They're always conveniently off-world when they need them. Now let's quickly talk about the Khione storyline, which I honestly think was pointless in this episode, but let's talk about it anyways. Because you had Mark having a dream about Khione and him hooking up. And at first I was like, what's going on? Like, I didn't think this was a dream. I thought they were just writing something very, very cringy. And I was like, ugh, I don't like this. And why did you put this in your show? And then when it became a dream, I'm like, okay, this makes a little bit more sense. But it still felt very unneeded, and the plot felt like it just felt out of place. Really, the entire plot was just getting rid of Mark. That was the whole point of it. Because Mark keeps trying to turn Khione into Frost by bringing her to the bar, by trying to do all the activities him and Frost would do, and then the bar also thinking that Khione was Frost, even though she doesn't have white hair. And it's just so many things that were really awkward to watch. And then they had the scene where Khione's getting mad at Mark, and everyone's like, ooh, I can't believe you did that. Oh, what did he say? Oh, you're an idiot. You shouldn't say that. Like, what was the point of that scene? Like, seriously, it was so cringy and so bad. Like, I feel like this show, they take literally everything we don't like about the show and put it even more in it. But we did get rid of Mark. Like, I didn't hate the character, but I was never a big fan of his character. Now that they've kind of gotten rid of him so that he can go figure out who he is while he's alone and getting over Frost's death, like, okay, good for him. We don't really need your character around, and I still don't understand the point of Khione, and I still hate the fact that no one else is grieving over their dead friends. Like, why is no one grieving over Caitlyn? It's just so annoying. But yeah, that was this week's episode, where I was hoping more would happen, but not a lot happened. And it was a filler. It was another filler episode. I do, again, hope that Nia now does come back, and that it was set up for her coming back to help Barry in the future for the final episode, and more Arrowverse characters coming in. I've heard that the Oliver Queen episode is a filler, but like Kid Flash, Oliver Queen, and Diggle are going to be in it, so I'm not that worried. It's going to still be a really good episode, and I'm hoping because, come on, Green Arrow's back, the GOAT himself. Let's quickly talk about episode 8, because it's looking like it's going to be a bottle episode, which I don't know how I feel about. They're going to be stuck in the speed lab, and they're stuck in time, and it's looking like they're being erased from the timeline, Barry and Iris. It could be Cobalt Blue trying to erase them from the timeline, and this is them realizing and having to correct it, which would be pretty cool, but like, well, what's going on in this show? I really hope this is not another pointless episode and it actually goes somewhere, but because it's a bottle episode, I am extremely worried. Let me know what you think is going to happen next episode, and what did you think of this episode? Do you think Nia now is going to come back later with her power upgrade, or do you think this was just a cool send-off for her character? I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with what I have to post. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.